We're pleased to welcome you to the Fort McMurray International Airport and appreciate you taking the time to be here. My name is Jessica Lifton. I'm the manager of marketing and communications with the Fort McMurray Airport Authority. A few quick housekeeping notes before we begin. Restrooms are located just towards the back of the room there around the corner. And in the unlikely event of an emergency, please proceed to the nearest exit and make your way to the short-term parking lot muster point on level 1. As you've all found, the light refreshments are available. Help yourself at any point. Thank you to Earl's for providing the appetizers and to Tim Hortons for the Smile Cookies. All proceeds from the Smile Cookies this week will go to the Northern Lights Health Foundation. We're proud to showcase our observation area here for today's gathering. If you weren't aware, this space is available for nonprofits at no cost. It's one of the ways that we continue to support community connection and collaboration. The Fort McMurray Airport Authority respectfully acknowledges that we are gathered here today on Treaty 8 territory, traditional lands of the Cree, Dene, and Métis people. We honor their enduring relationship with this land and are grateful for the opportunity to live, work, and operate in the region. Can you all hear me okay? Yes. We're also honored to welcome government official Fabki Vanjoko. Thank you for your continued support and being part of today's event. Thank you. Is that working? All right. Back in business. Thank you, Trevor, from Wood Buffalo Media Group. Today, you're going to hear from Stacy Miller, Chair of the Fort McMurray Airport Authority Board of Directors, and Deneen Robinson, the President and CEO of the Airport Authority. Also joining us today are Kyler Green, Vice President of Operations and Infrastructure, Michael Seeger, Vice President of Air Service and Commercial Development, Helen Hay, Chief Financial Officer, and Kelly McIntyre from MNP. All will be able to answer any questions that you may have following the presentations. So thank you all again for being here. We look forward to sharing this update with you. Now, please welcome Stacy Miller, Chair of the Fort McMurray Airport Authority Board of Directors.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today as we reflect on the past year and look forward to what's ahead of the Fort McMurray Airport Authority and YMM. As chair of the board, I'm incredibly proud to be part of an organization that leads with intention, balancing operational excellence with long-term thinking and always putting community at the heart of its work. 2024 was a year of progress. It was also a year for us to focus on strategic vision, for commercial development to passenger experience, financial stability, and responsible leadership. This report offers a snapshot of that work, but it's the people behind the progress, our staff, our partners, and our community who bring it all to life. Through 2024, we remained focused on what matters most, ensuring a safe, reliable, and efficient airport, strengthening relationships with our partners and stakeholders, managing resources responsibly, and delivering value not just to passengers, but the entire Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo region. We took important steps forward with our corporate responsibility, from reducing emissions and modernizing our fleet to improving accessibility and engaging with our Indigenous partners. We're building a future that reflects our values. Of course, we also celebrated a big milestone, 10 years since the opening of our terminal. It's an achievement that speaks not only to our infrastructure, but a decade of service, innovation, and adaptability. The past 10 years have had many achievements. However, the sustained downturn in passenger traffic is negatively impacting our bottom line and our ability to service our debt. We require continued support from the province and a long-term solution. I'd like to take a moment now to thank the Board of Directors for their continued guidance and oversight. Their commitment to strong governance ensures that we remain accountable, transparent, and aligned with our mission. To the airport team as well, thank you. Your dedication, expertise, and care for the work you do does not go unnoticed. And finally, to the community, thank you for continuing to choose YMM. When you fly local, you do more than reach your destination. You help power jobs, programs, and opportunities that benefit our entire region. At this time, it's my pleasure to invite our President and CEO, Deneen Robinson, to take the stage and guide us through the highlights of 2024 and look at how far we've come over the past 10 years.
Thank you, Stacy. And thank you all for being here. It's very nice to have our first in-person event after several years of having a virtual option, so welcome. It's a significant moment to stand here and reflect on all that we have accomplished and all that we have learned over the past 10 years. Our newly released annual report, Decade of Flight, YMM Terminal Celebrates 10 Years, marks a milestone moment for our terminal, which reached its 10-year anniversary last June. In 2014, we opened the doors to a brand new terminal. It was modern, bold, and full of promise. That year, we served 1.3 million passengers and became the fastest growing airport in Canada. We were adding routes, creating jobs, and preparing for a future full of potential. But as we all know, growth is rarely a straight line. Since then, this terminal has weathered a lot, from a sharp decline in oil prices, to wildfires that forced an entire community to evacuate, to a global pandemic that halted air travel around the world. Each of those moments tested us, and each one made us stronger. Our response wasn't just about staying operational, it was about staying grounded in service. Our people kept the runway open, assisted emergency flights, supported travelers through uncertainty, and found new ways to move forward. We also remained focused on making every investment count. Over the past 10 years, we've diversified our revenue streams, launched major infrastructure projects like our complete runway rehabilitation, and commercial projects, including Snowbird Prestige Commercial Park and Aurora Landing, reduced carbon emissions and energy use, and expanded our role as a community partner and employer of choice. That brings us to 2024, a year where our focus was clear and our progress was steady. We invested in critical upgrades, everything from baggage systems and phone platforms to IT security and documentation tools. We streamlined operations, repurposed underutilized space, and upgraded our heating systems and fire hall facility, all with an eye toward long-term sustainability and readiness. We also automated key parts of our finance system, reducing duplication and improving our ability to track and manage cost, while ensuring our systems are secure and compliant. And on the airfield itself, we completed over 68 kilometers of crack sealing and introduced a laser-guided paint system to reduce material use and improve precision. 2024 was also a pivotal year for Aurora Landing. This 650-acre commercial development opportunity was promoted at major trade shows, shared with stakeholders, and introduced to the public through an information center at the terminal. We saw the arrival of several new tenants, including Rough Country Welding, Harris Furniture, and DKI ProServe, and celebrated new ownership and redevelopment plans at the former Nova Hotel. All of these developments are part of a broader shift, one where the airport is not just a travel hub, but a key driver of regional growth. At the heart of every success story this year was our team. From frontline staff and volunteers to our team members working behind the scenes to ensure everything runs smoothly, every person plays a role in creating a seamless, safe, and welcoming environment. In 2024, we received 4 ASQ awards from Airports Council International, including Best Airport in North America under 2 million passengers. Extremely proud of that one. We also achieved accreditation for carbon reduction and earned recognition for our health and safety readiness. But more than awards, I'm proud of the culture we're building. We deepened our commitment to accessibility through the Sunflower Program, our newly formed Accessibility Committee, and partnerships that are helping to shape a more inclusive airport. And we recognize excellence within our team, including Adam Lobianco, who's here today, who was nationally honored on Canada's first ever Airports Workers' Day. We look forward to celebrating Airport Workers' Day this year again with Team YMM and government officials on June 25th. We know there's more work to be done when it comes to flight options, and we hear that from our community. Our air service development team continues to make the case backed by data, strong business models, and a deep understanding of what this region needs. We also understand that when travelers drive south to start their journey at other airports, it sends a message to airlines that demand is lower than it truly is. That's why we continue to emphasize that choosing YMM supports better connectivity for everyone. This year, we also supported 35 community initiatives through 28 nonprofit partners with in-kind support, from hosting community events and school tours to supporting fundraising events for charitable organizations. We are proud to help where and how we can. In addition, our team members volunteered countless hours of their time to local boards and committees, helping to drive positive impact in our region. So what's next? We remain focused on advocating for new routes and building strong business cases to support them. Enhancing air service is essential to meeting the needs of our region, and we continue to work closely with our airline partners to demonstrate the value and viability of expanded connectivity to and from Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo. Our efforts have been working. We are pleased to announce just earlier this year that increased flight frequency to Edmonton, Calgary, and Toronto has already been confirmed for 2025 from both of our airline partners, Air Canada and WestJet. This is an encouraging step forward and a sign of renewed confidence in our market. Alongside air development, we continue advancing commercial growth across the airport campus, including bringing Aurora Landing to life. These developments are key to supporting the long-term sustainability and diversifying our revenue streams. We also recognize the importance of addressing the long-term debt associated with the 2014 terminal build. This remains a top priority for the Fort McMurray Airport Authority. We have been in ongoing discussions with all levels of government to explore a sustainable path forward, and will continue those conversations. We are confident that through collaboration, we will identify a path that supports financial stability and operational resilience well into the future. But let me be clear, YMM's ongoing success relies on the choice of our residents. Choosing to start and end your journey at YMM helps maintain and grow our air service, and our region depends on it. It is an investment in our future and one that directly supports our economy. Thank you to our board of directors, our airline and business partners, our dedicated staff, and the community that continues to stand behind us. The past 10 years have been more than a milestone in our terminal's history. They represent a decade of commitment to connecting Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo to the world. I will now provide an overview of this year's financial results. In 2024, the Fort McMurray Airport Authority recorded a total of 353,000 passengers, representing a 4% decrease compared to 2023. Total revenue for the year was $20.6 million, which was a decline of $2 million, and primarily due to reduced grant funding related to a prior period. Operational expenses for the year totaled $16 million. This resulted in a contribution of $4.6 million before accounting for our interest on our long-term debt and our amortization of capital assets. Our bottom line reported an operating deficit of $12 million. This is a result of operating with significantly less capacity than this terminal was built to accommodate. On the capital side, FMAA invested $1.8 million in infrastructure and equipment to support safe, reliable operations. These investments align with our environmental objectives and include upgrades aimed at reducing our carbon footprint, furthering our commitment to sustainability and ESG performance. And at this time, if you want to, Jessica, I will open the floor for questions. So in addition to myself, the board of directors is here. We have Kelly McIntyre from MNP, and we also have Kyla Green, VP of Operations and Infrastructure, and we also have Michael Seeger, VP of Commercial and Air Service Development. Helen He, our financial CFO, is here as well. So any questions to any of the above? Yes?
So thank you very much for this excellent presentation. I congratulate you for the awards which you mentioned. And this is not only the pride of the management, it's pride of all of us. I really feel proud of that.
Thank you.
And you said that 2 million the reduction of income.
Yes.
So what is that? It was the some passengers, going the rate went down.
Yes, we had a reduction in passenger level. Actually, in 2024, our passengers were a little less than they were in 2023. We also had a bit of grant revenue in 23 that didn't repeat itself in 24. So those two items combined resulted in the reduction in revenue.
Thank you. I hope no loss or something accident or nothing of that sort.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes?
Hi, Jim Proudfoot, from McMurray Vessel. You said in 2014 there was 1.2 million passengers that flew, and last year was 356,000.
Correct. Correct.
So that's quite a drastic drop. I don't know anyone else. I was here on grand opening in 2014 at the airport. It was quite a good event. But my point is, what can you do to hold the airlines a bit more accountable? And what I'm talking about specifically is in terms of like just canceling flights and then having to reschedule them. For example, it happened to me once. I was going to fly on Fort McMurray. They rescheduled my flight. I think it was WestJet, and I missed like 3 or 4 days of my vacation. It happened to my daughter last summer. Almost all my co-workers, it's happened to them when we've lost days of vacation because it seems the airlines just arbitrarily reschedule the flights. So I'm really hesitant to fly on Fort McMurray for vacation because of that. And I will gladly drive to Edmonton and know that I'm going to get my flight on time. For example, this year I went to Hawaii and I was there for a month. I parked in Edmonton for 31 days. It cost me $144. I have no idea how much it would have cost me to park here for that length of time, but there was a reason why readership has dropped. And it's, for me, it's very frustrating, and I think it's very frustrating for the population.
Yes. No, great comments and question. And we are aware that airlines have struggled over the past few years, especially coming out of the pandemic with some of the reliability of flights. Yes. And again, that would be the airline operations, but but we do know that there has been some, restrictions on pilot availability and some of the airplane availability and, their decision on how they rebook, that's really up to the airlines, but we know it does impact us because people are feeling some uncertainty that if there is going to be a disruption that they may not have an opportunity to rebook on an additional flight. So we do continue to have those conversations for the airlines. So we do try to stress our business case that we need more service, and that's why we're happy to announce that we will have some increased service to Edmonton, Calgary, because we need those additional connections during the day so that you can make a quick connection through onto your destination. And by having more options even into those centers, if your flight gets delayed, there's more opportunity to be rebooked in a more timely manner than 2 or 3 days.
Okay, well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yes.
I'll keep canvassing travelers over here and see if their flights are canceled and delayed.
No, it's a great point, and we know that's something that needs to be addressed for us to get back to our volume. We don't anticipate we'll go back to a 1.3 million, but we certainly, and it's not just us, it's the regional airports in Canada coming out of the pandemic, on average, are at about 65% of the traffic they were in 2019, and we're right in that range. So there is some push on from a national level that we need to do more to improve the regional connectivity because it is very important. It's important for our economic development, and it's important for our passengers to have that connectivity and the ability to have flight options out of their local airport and not have to take a significant drive. Thank you. And yes?
Yeah, we thank you for the presentation. We talked briefly at the board level about how we can improve or increase the ridership through this airport. I'm wondering if you have a place or a link to where people can share their views or share suggestions and how we can get feedback from the community. What we get as councillors is a lot of people telling us this should be better, this is happening and all that. So I'm wondering if you get the same kind of feedback or if there are some ways residents can reach out to you easily without waiting for the board meeting. Do you have such avenues?
Yeah, no, that's a great comment. We do have an info@FlyYMM through our website that comments and questions can be submitted. We are also embarking this year on doing some additional passenger surveys. So within our own terminal, we're developing surveys to try to canvass and have those questions posed to passengers. We will look at some other opportunities that we can even have survey people outside the terminal. Because the one thing, if we're serving passengers that are already here, we know those are individuals that are choosing to fly YMM, but perhaps on another occasion they did not. But there still would be that will gather us some information that will help inform our strategies as we work through this year with our business cases with the airlines and our overall marketing strategy to and grow that ridership. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you very much. Very glad to see everyone here this evening, and I'm sure there's lots of refreshments left. So help yourself, and please stay to mingle for a bit.